My dear friends, as usual, I will read now my report from January 17th, 2024. Dear friends, praise be Jesus and Mary. On December 25th, 2023, for Christmas, the Visionary Maria received the following monthly message. Dear children, I am carrying my son Jesus to you to fill your hearts with peace, because he is peace. Little children, seek Jesus in the silence of your heart, that he may be born anew. The world needs Jesus, therefore seek him through prayer, because he gives himself daily to each of you. According to Visionary Maria, the Blessed Mother did not say, "Thank you for responding to my call." On that day she was dressed solemnly, and she was holding the child Jesus in her arms. Our Lady prayed over us in Aramaic, and Jesus stretched out his little hand toward us as a sign of blessing. The same day, the visionary Yaakov received his annual apparition, and he conveyed the following message. Dear children, today, with my son in my arms, I desire to call all of you to pray to the little Jesus for the healing of your heart. Children, often in your heart sin rules, which destroys your life, and you cannot feel God's presence. That is why, on this day of grace, when grace is spreading throughout the whole world, surrender your life and your heart to the Lord, so that the Lord may heal them with his grace. Only with pure hearts will you be able to experience the birth of Jesus in you, and the light of his birth will illuminate your life. I bless you with my motherly blessing. Thank you for having responded to my call.
Our Lady continues to surprise us. To everyone's amazement, on December the 31st, during the daily apparition to the Visionary Maria, which lasted a long time, Our Lady invited us to go to the hill of Podbrdo, the place of the first apparitions, the next day, January the 1st, at 3 p.m., and to pray there until the time of the apparition. In other words, she asked us to pray there for 3 consecutive hours. It was unique. The reaction was immense, not only in Medjugorje, but also abroad. Many prayer groups, families, and parishes decided to join in the prayer that rose from Podbrdo on the solemnity of the Mother of God. 3 hours of rain, cold, and mud. Many pilgrims arrived early to ensure they were as close as possible to the statue of Our Lady. At that time, the weather was clear, but at 3 p.m. sharp, the rain began to fall, only to stop a few minutes before the apparition, which was just the amount of time it took to pray 10 Hail Marys. Climbing down the hill took a long time for this huge crowd, because the stones were slippery and it was already dark. And yet, during all those hours of discomfort, whether standing or sitting uncomfortably, soaked by the rain, the wonder of wonders was that no one uttered a single complaint. On the contrary, joy could be seen on their faces. This was the joy of the sacrifice requested by Mary and generously performed together, an unforgettable experience. 7 minutes of heavenly joy. In the evening at 5:40 p.m., Maria went into ecstasy and her voice was suddenly inaudible as Our Lady appeared to her. The crowd then fell completely silent. The Blessed Mother was joyful and remained for 7 minutes. With her hands outstretched, she prayed at length over the thousands of people gathered around her, and Maria entrusted to her all of our petitions and especially those who are sick. Then she said, "Thank you for answering my call and praying for my intentions. You will not regret it, neither you, nor your children, nor your children's children." This message was the gift she promised, because in these troubled times, it has comforted many people who anxiously wonder about their future, about that of their children and their grandchildren. Mary enables us to understand that our future is in her motherly heart, the best refuge ever, along with that of Jesus, her Son. She invites us to trust and not fear. These are the facts, but let us try to look deeper, as this message has a precedent. On October the 27th, 2001, in Syracuse, Sicily, in the presence of the religious authorities and the governor, Mr. Cuffaro, Sicily responded to Mary's call given at Fatima, and during a large gathering, the island was consecrated to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. At Fatima, Our Lady asked for consecration to her Immaculate Heart as one of the conditions for peace, consecration of individuals, families, and nations. The visionary Maria had gone especially for the event, and during the apparition that followed the consecration, Our Lady gave the same message. She thanked those present for doing the consecration and then added, "You will not regret it, neither you, nor your children, nor the children of your children." Less than a year later, on September the 6th, 2002, a devastating earthquake raged in the province of Palermo, magnitude 5.6, but it was confined to the sea, so that city was spared. The very holy priest, Father Matteo Lagrua, a prophet who also performed miracles, soon to be beatified, had received in prayer that the Blessed Mother had moved the epicenter of the earthquake towards the sea. The sea was literally boiling. Without this special protection from Mary, the entire city of Palermo would have been destroyed, as well as most of the province. Yes, indeed, the Sicilians did not regret consecrating their island to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. There is another precedent, more hidden. A French couple decided to consecrate themselves as a family to the Immaculate Heart of Mary after a long preparation of 33 days. This preparation was to be completed in Medjugorje. On the 33rd day, they were able to visit the visionary Maria, and during the apparition, they prayed their consecration. After the apparition, Maria turned to them and told them that the Gospa was happy about their consecration, that she thanked them, and that they would not regret having done it, neither they, nor their children, nor their children's children. No need to describe their joy. This testimony may be less spectacular than that of Sicily, but it will certainly inspire many other families. In Medjugorje, in more than 42 years of apparitions, Our Lady has never made such a surprise summons, engaging thousands of her children in a long prayer lasting 3 hours, under very uncomfortable weather conditions. Why did she ask for that? Shall we get the answer before we see her in heaven? What great disaster did she want to avoid? What destructive plan of the enemy was cancelled thanks to the prayer and sacrifice of her children, who on the 1st of January celebrated her as the Mother of God? She did not hesitate to ask for a lot. So one might think that she gave a lot, given the immense power of prayer. Let us recall here this often repeated message. Dear children, only through prayer and fasting can you prevent wars, stop wars, and suspend the laws of nature. In her various apparitions, think of Lourdes or Fatima, the Virgin Mary always asks for penance, sacrifice, offering, in connection with prayer, because there is no true love without self-giving. Is your home blessed? In January, the Franciscans keep this beautiful tradition of blessing parishioners' homes. They go from house to house, greet families, recite certain prayers, and sprinkle holy water around the family home. From the beginning of the apparitions, Our Lady recommended the use of holy water, and ask that we carry on ourselves blessed objects, small crosses, medals, or other Christian objects blessed by a priest. These simple articles are signs of our faith and also protection against evil and the influence of evil. They are neither good luck charms nor amulets or talismans. It is important to stress that because many people are not aware of the danger of harmful superstitions. Above all, do not carry any zodiac sign on you. They are snares. This type of object cannot be blessed by a priest, nor can it provide spiritual or temporal benefit, because it is related to pagan practices that displease God. Deuteronomy 18:11. In addition, every Saturday, many Croatian mothers go around the house and property to sprinkle holy water. I asked Vitska the reason for this, and she said, "But because we are Christians." Yes, in an anti-Christian or Christianophobic context, Christians need these signs as constant reminders of their belonging to Christ and the Virgin Mary. He's come a long way. In his teenage years, Vittorio from Italy made a typical kinds of bad choices. It would take too long to describe them all. His father was quite cold, indifferent, and absent. He did not listen to his son, and Vittorio suffered deeply from this emotional emptiness. Feeling unloved, he had left his parents' house and started taking drugs to help him forget his pain. Without fully realizing the seriousness of his choices and their dangers, he connected with a group of Satanists who practiced black masses, drugs, alcohol, pornography, orgies, etc. This group had a kind of headquarters in an apartment where Vittorio went often because there he could meet up with women and get drugged up with marijuana, hashish, cocaine. This life lasted several years. But one day on the street he met a childhood friend, a girl who asked him, "Vittorio, how are you doing?" This friend was praying a great deal and was leaving Mary's Medjugorje messages. She continued, "I see you are not well. I'm going to pray for you." This word touched Vittorio at the time, but he did not lend it much importance. He did not see this friend again for 4 months. Then one morning, as he woke up, he said to himself, "I'm tired of taking drugs. That's enough. I'm done." He said it, and he did it. He stopped taking drugs that very day. The most surprising thing is that he did not have to suffer the pains of withdrawal that usually follow when you suddenly stop taking drugs. This was an immense grace. He later explained that he had an inner strength that he had not known before. He stopped hanging out with this group at its headquarters. When he went out into the city again, he met the same friend who told him clearly, "Since we met, I have been praying the rosary for you every day." Vittorio then remembered their meeting and this promise of prayer. On that day, a new life began for him. He found a priest who helped him in his journey of conversion and who supported him in difficult times. Vittorio now works in his father's business and is very good at computers. He has been doing well for 4 years now. His beautiful journey of faith includes daily mass and regular confession. He lives in chastity and is rebuilding himself by following Jesus as best he can. He was recently in Medjugorje for the new year, so he was on the Podbrdo on January the 1st in order to respond to Our Lady's invitation. However, despite this life change, Vittorio still harbored a deep anger towards his father, and this anger caused him anxiety and insomnia. He was going to an exorcist, hoping to be cured of this, but it was to no avail because nothing changed. In Medjugorje he met a layman, Francesco, who had experienced a deep liberation after years of suffering. Francesco said to him, There is no point in receiving further prayers of liberation, for you must first forgive yourself and forgive your father. Vittorio did not expect this answer, and he remained silent for a few seconds to think. Francesco seized this opportunity to tell him, "With sincere forgiveness on your part, you will find peace of heart, because in forgiveness it is the Lord who acts. This is the key to your inner healing. Satan does not want you to forgive, because then he will no longer be able to torment you." Vittorio trusted this word and understood that he had to forgive his father, but it was very difficult for him, like a huge mountain to move. The solution was found. "Go back home," Francesco told him, "and first try not to judge your father. Try to be close to him and try to make yourself useful in the little details, also with your smile and your way of doing things. Don't expect a good answer right away from your dad. He will need to understand your change." Vittorio decided to follow this advice. This simple and firm decision to forgive his father brought him great inner serenity, as if this old conflict were beginning to melt into his heart. In Medjugorje, Vittorio opened a new door to Jesus. He is ready to live in harmony with this extraordinary divine host in accordance with the gospel. We will pray for Vittorio and for all those who, like him, fight with courage to choose life at all costs, to testify that Jesus is alive and ready for all miracles in order to save us.
Dearest Gospa, what would we do without you? What a wonderful mother your son Jesus gave us from the cross. O dearest Queen of Peace, may all men come to know you, love you, and live with you. May they receive through you that special peace that only your Son Jesus can give, the divine peace so rare today and yet so desired. May God bless you all.